missing someone.
So these are my tips for formal recruitment at the University of Florida, or really any like large university. I'm sure you can apply a good number of these. So the first one I have a list. The first one I have is absolutely under no circumstances should you look at their Instagrams before round one. And the reason I say this is because if you look at them, like really in-depth look at them before round one, you're gonna have all of these expectations for like when you sort of get there and start to meet them, and you're gonna like start to think, oh, maybe I like this one, maybe I don't like this one, and that could totally change for round one. So it's just much easier if you don't do that. My second tip is do watch like other rush vlogs and other tip videos, because like if you're as excited as I was for recruitment, like you'll be able to get outfit ideas and just like sort of have some of that excitement without learning too much about each of the chapters. Another thing, absolutely do not look at Greek rank. Greek rank is basically like a top tier sorority, top tier. If that's your goal, is to be in a top tier sorority, I can guarantee you that you will probably want to drop in the first week if you don't like the girls that are there. So don't worry about who's top tier, just worry about the girls that you meet and who you sort of like connect with, because that is going to be the best way for you to find a sorority that is meant for you. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know if all universities do this, but UF has a Pinterest board with like outfits for each of the rounds, and that is very helpful. Like I definitely recommend that you look at that, even if you don't go to UF, because it helped me a lot figuring out like what sort of was expected for each round. Another thing is that when you are talking to women in each of the chapters, even if you don't want to be there, you still like have to be respectful, I guess, to them. Like don't ignore them, don't say anything that's like rude, which is common sense, but I've definitely heard stories of girls that have done that, and it does get around, and like that's one of the reasons why you could get dropped from a lot of chapters. My next tip is talk to your pi guys. And so I know that like different universities call them different things, but at UF we call them pi guys, and these are your Panhellenic counselors, and basically they're women in like each chapter that have completely like disassociated themselves from their chapter, so they can't talk to anyone in their chapters, and like their sole focus is like helping you through this process. So if you're stressed, if you don't know, like if you're trying to decide between two different chapters, talk to them. Like their job is to help you, and they want to help you, so like please utilize them. Don't feel bad if you get dropped if you had a really good conversation with the girl that you talked to, because it's, well, okay, I don't mean don't feel bad, because like you're allowed to feel bad about it, but don't don't project those feelings onto the girl that you talk to, because it's not necessarily her fault. Like, if you feel like you connected with her, she probably did too, but she's not the one deciding if you get asked back the next day. My last tip is about suicide bidding. So basically at the end of the week, so you'll have like round 1, round 2, round 3, and then you'll have preferential round, and usually it's different depending on the university, but you'll only go to 2 or 3 chapters on preference round, and then after that you'll rank the sororities in the order of how you like them, I guess. But there's this contract that you have to sign before you know if you got a bid. I personally don't like the process because, like, for the guys, they can get as many bids from fraternities as, like, fraternities that will give them to them. That was kind of confusing. If it doesn't make sense, the fraternities can give out bids, and then the guys don't have to decide to accept the bid until, like, they've seen what bids they have, if that makes sense. So, like, for the sororities, you have to, like, accept the bid before you get it. So basically, if you know that you would only be happy in one of the chapters that you went to for prefs, and you would not be happy at all in the other one, then I would definitely recommend suicide bidding. I did it myself because I'm not exactly sure if it's the same at every single university, but at UF, if you suicide bid and you don't get a bid from that sorority, then you can still get a bid through what's called snap bidding or COB. So say that you put down 2 chapters, and you really don't want to be in your second choice, but you just put it because, like, you want to get a bid. And it definitely, like, putting both definitely increases your chances of getting a bid. However, if you don't want to be there, don't put it on the contract. Like, because if you do get a bid from that chapter and then you end up dropping, you won't be able to participate in spring recruitment. You'll have to wait until the next fall recruitment to go through that process again, and you won't be able to get a snap bid. So a snap bid is essentially just like any chapter can just hand out a bid, like, and usually it's either on bid day or like a couple days after that happens. So yeah, so if you know that you don't want to be in a chapter, I would recommend suicide bidding. I did it. It worked out for me. Obviously, if you don't get a bid from the chapter that you want, you're probably not meant to be there. So the last thing that I just want to say is that this process is definitely going to be rough. Like, it's not going to be easy. You might cry. You're probably going to be stressed out, but it's totally worth it. Anyways, that is the video. Go Gators!